Roger, with your style of pitching, I'm sure that the Polo Grounds will be an asset to you with your good control and the slider that you work outside.
Yes, I think so, Ralph. I've always had fairly good success there, and I've worked a lot on my control this spring. I'm throwing pretty good. I worked out all winter, and I'm looking forward to having a real good year.
That's from 1962 spring training in St. Petersburg, Florida. Ralph Kiner interviewing Roger Craig, who would make the first start in Mets history on April the 11th, 1962, 50 years ago today. And Roger Craig is standing by with Kevin Burkhardt. Kevin?
Thanks, Gary. You know, Roger, we just played a clip of Ralph interviewing you in spring training in St. Petersburg in '62. What do you remember about that collection of guys coming together and forming the New York Mets?
Well, it was a great bunch of guys, and you know, at that time that you got guys like Rich Ashburn and Frank Thomas and Gill and Gus Bell, Hobie, and Al Jackson. We had some Zimmer, some guys that were pretty good players, but most, probably including me, was kind of, well, actually I went on pitch a few more years, but we'll come maybe a little bit over the hill. But you know, we went in and thought we was going to win a lot more than 40 games, but Casey was great to work for, and we just seemed to couldn't put enough together. You know, when you bring that many guys together and you're playing at a major league level, it's tough to win ball games.
Why was Casey so great to work for?
He was just so easygoing, so happy. He was just he didn't really teach that much. He would just keep everybody loose and happy. He was great with the media. I mean, they didn't have to ask him questions. He'd just start talking, and he's amazed me. He could carry on conversations with 5 or 6 guys, different conversations, and he'd be talking to this guy, and all of a sudden you go to this guy and say to a different story.
At the same time?
At the same time. But he was fun to play for.
Totally draws a walk. Started off against Strasburg here. What do you remember about that first game against the Cardinals and getting out there on the Mets? You threw out the first pitch today. You were out there getting set to face Curt Flood in that game in 1962. What do you remember about that day?
Not much. You know, 50 years is a long time, and you know, I just found out today that the first game was rained out, and we had to play it the next day. So actually, I hurt my ankle in about 3 or 4 days before opening day, and I was so intent on being the opening day pitcher, and I told the catcher Hobie Landreth, but I told the trainer Gus Malk, I said, don't tell Casey because he won't let me pitch, and he didn't tell Casey, and I pitched. But that extra day in there probably helped me.
You know, I looked at the box score, and Musial that day was 3 for 3 against you. Drove in the first run against the Mets in their history. How did you go against him? How did you attack Stan the Man in that time?
I should have just walked him, you know, because I know he's going to get on base. But, you know, ironically, the next year I got traded to the Cardinals, and we won the World Championship. And Stan Musial retired. So I said, Stan, what do you retire for? I got a chance to play with you. You've been wearing me out for 10 years now, and here I got a chance to play, and you retire. But he was a real gentleman. What a great guy.
Neuenhuis the batter now, and he's punched out by Strasburg, so 1 down, and Cedeno will take his chance. You know, you had 27 complete games in your time with the Mets, and you had 15 wins. That's hard to do. I mean, 27 complete games, you would think you'd have a few more wins there, Roger.
Yeah, well, Casey let me pitch a lot when maybe normally he'd take me out, but he knew that I wanted to pitch and I liked to pitch. And, you know, we were pitching on the 4th day, and I think I had 18 and 19 saves over those 2 years, too, or something. But it was fun to pitch for him, and I really enjoyed playing for him.
What's your take today? You're sitting here watching. I know you're anxious to watch both Santana and Strasburg. What do you think of these 2 pitchers?
Well, they're both. Santana, I watched him when he first came up, and he's got one of the best changeups I've ever seen. He knows how to pitch. He moves the ball around, and I can see from now, which I know he had an injury, but he's throwing with good mechanics. He's throwing good. He seems to get a little sharper with his fastball as the game goes along. And Strasburg is, you know, he had a major operation too, and he's throwing good too. The thing that I would look at as a manager coach is he throwing nice and easy, and is he okay? This is the main thing. Then from there on, hopefully he gets his velocity back, which he's throwing good now. But
well, if you're a manager, the coach of the Nationals, and they say to you, you know, we're going to hold them on 160 innings this year. What's your reaction to that?
I wouldn't be the manager. You know, I would watch as the season goes along. And you know, if he's throwing good and is not hurting, and maybe give him an extra day off here and there, but I wouldn't really. I mean, I wouldn't maybe let him pitch 200 innings, but as long as he's throwing the ball good.
You're saying it's about how he looks, how he feels, more than just a number.
Yeah. Exactly.
He gets another K. Cedeno punched out, and that'll be Santana's turn with 2 down. Now, Roger, let me ask you. You know, the theme here is 50 years, 50th anniversary for the Mets. What has changed in the pitching department in that time? And when you watch the game today, what do you see that's maybe a lot different about when it was when you were on the mound at 62 for this team?
Well, I don't think it's too much with the pitches. You know, they naturally every era they come up with a different pitch or so, but and their circle change and the split thing and things like that. But the thing is that, you know, is the relief pitching is that you were guys back when you pitch in the 6th and 7th and 8th inning, you were the mop-up guy. Yeah. And now you get paid a lot of money to be a setup guy or whatever like that. But and the closers, you know, they're very evident now, and they make good money, which they should. They're a different breed of cats, but they are. You don't have too many great ones in the game like you know, you have guys like Gossage, and we had Clem Labine with the Brooklyn Dodgers. They pitched 3 innings one night and 2 the next night and 1 the next night.
Santana is trying to make a bid, and Roger, we thank you so much. Great to see you, and best to you. Best of health.
Okay, thank you very much.